20-8 since Don Mattingly took over. Run differential plus 37 since that time. Again, no disrespect to Rob Thompson. He kind of did the same thing when he arrived and Joe Girardi was fired, and suddenly they just took off. They won 8 straight. They won the pennant. But this is interesting. Dodgers and Phillies, 3 games in L.A. They played that division series last year that was very competitive. You always look back and go, 3-1. That was easy. It was not easy. Don Mattingly back in Dodger Stadium. He was the manager there 2011 to 2015. This is how it ended on this mess of a play to Kerkering. So it was frustrating. This has the feel, though, of, once again, Ruben, heavyweight division baseball, head-to-head. What do you think?
I think the way the Phillies are starting to play now, since I talked about it, Wheeler gotten back into the rotation. They're one of the best starting pitching rotations in baseball now, and they have created a little bit of depth. Painter starting to throw the ball a little bit better, closer to where he was. But much like the Padres, as you were talking about, Joel, the Phillies, those big boys, they have to hit. That's a lot of money tied up in some of those offensive players. The Bryce Harpers, the Schwarbers, and the Turners of the world. Turner really struggling early in the season, but these guys have got to perform. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. Yes, they are playing much better right now, but I think it's more about the pitching than it is the fact that they made that.
Can I just ask you about this while this is up there? Because, I'm trying to pay respect to Rob Thompson. Everyone likes Rob Thompson. Joel's talked about him on the day he was fired. We've shown him as much respect as possible. Something happened, though, as Don Mattingly took over. What happened?
I think the biggest thing for me is the starting pitching rotation with Wheeler at the top has been under 3. Under 3.0 ERA since he's been back in the rotation. It sort of lines everything up. It's a little bit like getting, another guy in that bullpen, as a closer.
Stability.
And it just it puts everybody in the right spot. That's one. I think also they were trending that way. They were already starting to play better baseball. The guys were starting to swing the bats a little bit better. And they faced a really tough Cubs and Atlanta Braves early in the season when they were unstoppable and the Phillies were playing their worst baseball. So combination of things. I do think that Don Mattingly is one of those guys that creates he's automatic. This guy's a stud player. He's been there for a long, long time as a manager and has had success. And I think that that's important. But the personalities between and the way they manage is not all that different between Thompson and Mattingly.
Right.
Can I give some credit to Kerkering? That's the kind of play you don't always get over, especially in that market. Like Mitch Williams, didn't get over the home run to Joe Carter in that, right? Bill Buckner didn't get over his play in Boston. Kerkering's been one of the better relief pitchers. He's going kind of back to the scene of the crime, right, tonight to play against the Dodgers. And I will give my last bit of love to Rob Thompson, meeting Kerkering on the top step, not running away from him, putting his arm around him and letting him know we would not have gotten to this moment without you, which was a real human moment at a tough human time. So I know Rob Thompson is gone, but maybe he helped Orion Kerkering begin to do this.
Not the only one. I mean, I will echo those. That's a great point you're making because this kid has really pitched well. In fact, I think he had his very first play back after he came back from the IL. I think he had a comebacker that he had to handle and handle it flawlessly. But the reality of it is Rob Thompson's a great relationship guy, and it was unfortunate that there was a change made. It has worked, and it's paid off for them. But again, I'm pretty sure that the Phillies were going to be coming around anyway.
Yeah. Got a slap in the face. Seemed to wake them up. Also, I did an essay on Zach Wheeler. He's like the balance of power in the league. Really. Like Wheeler comes back, you see the 167. Sanchez just broke the club record for consecutive innings. So you're getting
Luzardo's pitching better now.
This heavyweight baseball. All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, speaking of Olive Garden, we're the show for the thinking fan. Welcome back, everybody. Brian Kenny here with you. Joel Sherman and Ruben Amaro on our panel today. Ruben works Phillies games. Phillies and Dodgers start a series tonight. Rematch of a big playoff matchup last year. Phillies are a different ball club now. Mike Petriello joins us. Is Aaron Judge challenging enough? And the effective game planning on the Chicago Cubs. But first, we're about a third of the way into the season, a season where it is fairly difficult to separate the different levels and strata of the clubs in the league. Not long ago, there were super teams, middle-class teams, rebuilding teams. Not the case right now. So let's go one level below that win-loss record and play a little run differential theater. This classes the place up, Joel, don't you think? Yes, we went into the season thinking there was one dominant club, the Dodgers, two-time defending champ, spent at the top of the free agent market again this offseason. They haven't disappointed, but they also have not exactly dominated the league. They didn't lead their own division as recently as a week ago. But this week, the cream started to rise. So let's go league by league. Here is the National League. And we asked the question, right, it's not giving you every answer, but what is run differential telling us? Only about 2 weeks ago, the Braves had the best record and run differential in baseball, and the run differential by about 30 runs. That has changed. Now it's the big boys. Braves have the best record. Run differential tells us the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. It's the Dodgers, Braves. Brewers pretty good, too. That's a plus 78. That's real. Look at this, the Pirates. Good news for them. The Cubs' little 10-game losing streak cost them. They dropped from the elite. And the other club of note, there they are. The Padres, right? Look, they occupied first place. They were in front of the Dodgers. Still have a nice record. They're 7 games over 500. Run differential says they're a 500 club. The Nats scored the most, allowed the most, all in all. Not bad for them. All right, that's bad, right? Not bad. -4. Bottom half now. No real surprises. Main thing here, look at the Phillies. Here we go. Highlighted them. Nice job. -17, right? Since Don Mattingly took over, plus 37. It's a different club. And yeah, the Giants are that. Rockies doesn't shock you. The Giants, that bad. All right, bottom line for the National League, the Death Star has started to get it rolling. Not fully operational, if we're to extend that analogy, but all that Dodger talent is starting to translate into runs and wins. It's happening. American League. The Rays have the best record. Run differential says the Yankees are the best team in the AL. And by a decent margin, right? That's not nothing. Plus 89 to plus 24. Not huge, but clear. And the Yankees have real horsepower. We know this. Garrett Cole just came back. He looks great. Max Fried, who was their ace, he's been out. He'll come back. They're deep. They should take over. Rays, Mariners, and Guardians kind of lumped together. There's not much differential there. The Mariners, though, you see right there, they're better than their record. So that'd turn around. And how about the White Sox? You know, dead even? That's good. Rebuilding? Competitive. Bottom half. A lot of would-be contenders solidly being outscored, right? Tigers, Astros, Orioles, Royals, just disappointing. Not getting crushed, but they're also not near zero either. Neither are the Red Sox. That's a disappointment. So what do we learn by a trip to run differential theater? The middle class is stacked. But at the top, Dodgers and Yankees. Braves and Brewers are close. I'll give you that. So we ask you, which team will outperform their early win-loss record, right? It's a long season, third of the way. That means 2/3 are on their way. We'll have your responses later in the show. We're at MLB Now on X. Joel Sherman is here. Ruben Amaro is here. So, Ruben, you've gotten to see the Phillies again. You used to run the Phillies. Now you're doing the broadcast for them. So you've seen the difference since Don Mattingly took over for Rob Thompson. What stands out to you?
I think it's a story. Run differential is a big story, but it's not the entire story. I mean, obviously, for the Phillies, it's been about the pitching. That starting pitching has been under 3 when Wheeler got back into the rotation. Mm-hmm. That's the thing for me. I usually, as a GM, I'm about the quality of play. But the run differential for me is like something that's more global. At the end of the year, and like in 2025, most of the teams that were in the playoffs, those were the teams that had like the solid run differential. I think it was like the Cleveland Indians was the only team that made the playoffs. They had a negative.
It was the Diamondbacks one year, too. There's not many.
It just doesn't happen very often. But for me, it's more of a checks and balances. And when I'm observing my team, I watch their quality of play throughout the year. But at the 1/3 mark, BK, I just feel like it's tough to really assess what's going on with each team. It's more about what happens after 162 or much later.
I think really the storylines for me have just started to emerge. Like I didn't do run differential theater even a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and only now when I looked last night, I went, oh, they're the Dodgers. They passed the Braves. I know, Joel, when we were talking about the Padres, you were defending run differential, saying, yeah, there's the anomalous team, but on the by and large, what you're scoring, what you're giving up will tell the story.
This is a very strange year, BK.
Yeah.
30 major league teams, only 10 have positive run differentials. Like, I'm not exactly
the math
sure.
isn't adding up, right?
There's only 4 in the American League. And by the way, the 3 that are not the Yankees are a combined plus 61, and the Yankees are plus 89. Like, the Yankees have no reason not to run away with the American League East and the American League. The run differential is telling us something about their strength that hasn't shown up so far in the standings. Now, one of the things I find interesting is the Rays and the Mariners have the same run differential, One team is a game under 500, and the Rays are in first place at 34-19.
Yeah.
I do think that run differential for the Mariners is telling us that they're a good team.
Yeah.
And they're about to take off also. And in a weak American League, in a weak AL West, I wouldn't be surprised if we woke up on July 1st and they were comfortably ahead.
Yeah, I put this out not as, gospel, but that it does show you something. And there wasn't a time, it wasn't all that long ago, where I would bring up run differential and I was treated as a heretic. It's like, what are you doing? That's not telling you anything. I was here, too, at the same time. Now we just accept it. And we try to look at, I thought the Padres were a good club. I know that this is telling us they're a 500 team. I think they're better than a 500 team.
I believe that, and I think it's because of their pitching. Same way with the Phillies. I mean, had the Phillies not had the starting pitching that they've had, and the Padres haven't had the pitching and the bullpen that they've had, they probably would not be as strong. And I believe in pitching across the board. It gives you a chance every single night. Padres, for me, are a quality team, but they haven't gotten it going offensively.
No.
And it was obvious that the Phillies handled them really well in sweeping them here just recently.
Just two things real quick. The Padres will not be a good team if the players they pay a lot of money on offense don't perform better.
Right.
Machado hasn't performed well. Tatis Jr. does not have a home run. Jackson Merrill has looked nothing the last 2 years, especially this year, like his rookie year.
Right.
Xander Bogaerts is fine, but not what he's paid to be. If those guys all don't wake up, I mean, that's hundreds of millions of dollars for these players.
Yeah.
They need them to play. The second thing is, I think sometimes we have to remember what run differential is. And I will go back to a conversation I had with Billy Beane probably 25 or 30 years ago, where I remember saying to him, like I was covering some Yankee games, and I'm like, they lose all the time. They only lose close games. And I'm like, right, they're really good. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, the really good teams win blowouts but don't lose blowouts, and then they win and lose close games. And that's how you create run differential. You don't get blown out, but you do it. And I think that that's what the run differential shows is the teams that are kind of like able to blow out other teams create run differential like the Yankees and Dodgers.
I remember you telling me that. It's pretty funny when you think about it, like just as a general theory, and Billy Beane saying, it's like, yeah, they lose close. They're good.
Right.
Like they don't
they're
lose
never
bad.
out
They
of,
lose
they're,
close.
They're never out of a game. The point is, good teams are never out of a game, and they're going to lose some one-run games.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's get to the Phillies. Phillies again.